I think another tough truth that people forget about is the need for discipline. And obviously we see it a lot here. Very, very disciplined with a lot of people here. The absence of discipline. How important is it to have discipline? How can we become more disciplined if we fell off and we don't, or maybe never had any kind of discipline?
So, in the way how we talked before, when a disciple, for example, comes to join this monastery, there are so-called 14 virtues within the Shaolin temple. Those 14 virtues, I try to make it simple, are separated into virtues that we are expecting people to have when they arrive here, and the group of virtues that can be learned. Expected virtues and virtues to be learned. The ones to be learned, of course, that means during the stay of being here, they are slowly being introduced into these type of virtues. But there are some of these virtues, let's say, that from our side as an organization, we want them that they have it already to a certain extent in the moment where they come here. And amongst one of them is discipline. And the reason why is simply like this. I think the human is able to develop and learn so many different things when the willingness is there. When you are willing to learn. You are willing to learn, and afterwards you put that willingness into a form. Willingness into a form means you make a plan. A simple daily plan. Tomorrow I'm dedicating 5 minutes to practice it. The day after, another 5 minutes. After that week, 10 minutes every day. And this you keep, no matter what, no excuse. Everyone is old enough to make a plan where you can put 5 minutes into your daily schedule that is just unchanged for the next month. I don't see a problem with this. But sometimes we're too compulsive. Sometimes you do have a plan, but then somebody calls you, you receive a message, something comes in between, and suddenly the plan is gone. If you have this type of commitment, why would you even call it commitment? It's called commitment because the commitment itself already knows the human mind is not made to stay at one place at one time. The commitment knows it. That's why we give it. This is why we say, okay, I commit to it. Because I know that hard times will come, that I will find excuses why not to make it, that I will have days I'm not in the mood to practice it. I know these times are going to come, but this is why you do the commitment. Just very similar, like I think everybody knows that a marriage, a partnership is not just about upsides, it's about the wave of up and down. And because you have the waves of up and down, because you know it's not always gonna be beautiful, it's not always gonna be red and pink, that's why you give a commitment. That no matter what, there is something bigger than the small issues that sometimes pop up in the partnership. And only then, if your mindset is so far that you are telling to yourself, yes, I'm able to give this commitment. This is so important to me, it has such a priority for me that I know there will be hard times, I know what is involved with it, and now I give the commitment. Then there is no way out anymore. The difference, the problem nowadays is those commitments that are being given sometimes just don't mean anything. We know the stories how it is in the past if you make contracts. If you give a commitment even just by word and afterwards you break it. You break your promise, somebody breaks you, finished. Why? Because a man that you can't trust his words, something's wrong. Something initially as being a man is wrong. So, and this is where I think things are going hand in hand. So once you really commit, and also commit to a certain type of practice, that means you need to bring out that discipline. It is that discipline that is fueling up this drive, because we know that it's not easy, but no pain, no gain. I can only give the pain to others that I have received already. My bones can only be as hard as I have hit whatever was hard like that. And so that means take it as a challenge. Everything that hurts you, find a way to overcome it. Everything that you feel is difficult for you, find a way to still do it. As long as you can do the things, stop listening to the mind. It's like also in the morning, at least for me it is similar like this. When I'm lying in the bed and the alarm goes on, for example, if I'm trying to convince myself, come, just 5 more minutes, it's a bad idea. Yeah, so that's why I really got used to it rings, and then it's really like, in a way, I try to get out of bed as quick as possible. Then it's done. But in the moment where I start to get comfortable again, it becomes just more difficult. It's because that mind always wants to trick you and test you and challenge you if there's not something that he can still like readjust you. No, but discipline in a way really means it rings, wake up. Because that feeling of not wanting to wake up, that feeling of, but it's hard, I'm tired, whatever, it will pass after some time. And there is no other way than just learning to get over things like this. That's it. We all have it here. It's just that we also know there is a price if you don't do it, and there's a price if you do it. And it's just up to you to decide which of those two passes of development would you like to be in. And it's the harder way of having compassion with the person that gives you hate, and it's even harder to even start to develop the feeling of love towards that person. That's why we call it is a practice.